Tila napuno na nga si Senator Amy Marcos at pinatikim ng salita si Senator Risa Hontiveros dahil sa panggigipit nito kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Ayon kay Senator Amy, marami daw talagang naiinggit kay VP Duterte at alam niya daw na nais lang ng mga ito na mapatalsik si VP upang maalis na ang itinuturing nilang hadlang sa pansarili nilang kapakanan. Narito panoorin ang video kung paano dinurog ni Senator Amy si Risa Hontiveros.
I vote a resounding yes. Sa hinaba-haba kong pagsisilbi sa Kongreso, sa 12 taon na nanilbihan kami, ang trabaho ng kongrestista sa pagkaalam ko ay maging kinatawan ng kanilang distrito o kanilang sektor. Bakit naman ngayon ay naging tagabantay na lamang sila ng humihiyaw na dambuhalang sanggol? Ginawa ng bonjing na armas ang impeachment. Ang dating para sana sa kaayusan ng sistema, ginagawang pampagulo, panakot at sandata laban sa mga kinaiinggitan, kinaiinsecuran ng mga lulong sa kapangyarihan. Galangin naman natin ang Korte Suprema. Huwag tayong umastang Supremer Court, Supremest pa. Wala namang ganun ah. Sa mga kapatid kong senador, paano tayo magiging dakilang mambabatas kung tayo mismo ay hindi susunod sa batas? Ang boses ng Korte Suprema ay boses ng konstitusyon. At kung sino man ang sasapaw sa boses na ito ay isa lang ang tono: ambisyon. Kaya naman, mag-move on na tayo. Magtrabaho at huwag konsintihin ang isang spoiled na bonjing. Huwag nang busugin ng pabor. Huwag nang pumayag dahil may pabuya. Huwag tayo magpalaki ng buwaya, baby pa nga ang tawag, lulong na. Sa mga mahal kong kongresista, may suggestion po ako. Ito suggestion lang naman, Huwag niyong masamain. Kesa inaatupag ninyong palitan ang pinili ng taong bayan, binoto at minahal. Bakit di nyo nalang palitan ang tao, kayo naman lang ang pumili? Ayaw paawat ng iba sa kaka-flex. Ano kaya kung yung speaker nyo na lang ang paltan nyo? Kaya nyo yan. At dahil dito, bumuboto ako ng malakas na oo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Amy. Before the Secretary recognizes the next Senator, who are these people almost creating trouble there? Can you please trace their identities and send them out of this building? Secretary.
Senator Padilla.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla is recognized to explain his vote.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo. A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Bismillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Alam niyo po, ito na po siguro ang pinakamaligayang araw sa buhay ko sapagkat makasaysayan. Ako po ay nagpupugay at malalim na paghanga sa isinagawang paliwanagan ni Senator Marcoleta, Senator Soto, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Aquino, Senator Pia Alan Cayetano, Senator Raffy Erwin Tulfo, Senator Mig Subiri. Ang palitan ng mga paniniwala sa plenaryo ay simbolo ng humihinga at buhay na Senado. Nagagawa natin ang kalayaan at kasarinlan. Isang demokrasya na naririnig ang bawat naratibo. Tagahanga po ninyo ako lahat. At alam naman po ninyo, sa maiksing panahon ko rito, ako ay pro-Westminster. At ngayon, system po, system. Yan po yung parang sa UK. At yan po yung nakita ko ngayong araw na ito. Ang lahat ng mga senador ay gising, ang lahat ng mga senador ay nandito, ang lahat ng mga senador ay nagtatrabaho sa ayon sa kagustuhan kong makita ko ang bawat debate at ang bawat opinion ng bawat isa. Kaya nagpapasalamat po ako. Napakagandang araw po nito sa inyong lahat at sa ating lahat. Ngayon, mga kababayan, gusto ko pong malaman ninyo na ako po ay nagbibigay-pugay sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin ngayon. Malamang ang sasabihin ninyo, siyempre si Robin Padilla, ang boto niyan, alam na natin. Mabuti po, alam nyo na. Ang gusto ko lamang pong liwanagin ay ito. Ang nais ko, sana, ay katapusan na nito. Dismissal. Una pa lang po, bago pa lang po kami na-convene, labag na po sa kalooban ko na matuloy ito. Nakita nyo naman po, noong nagkasumpaan, talagang ipinaglalaban namin na politika ito. Politika ito At kailangan ng due process. Pero natuloy pa rin po, nag-convene pa rin. Pero hindi pa rin po ako nagsuot ng robe dahil para sa akin ay protesta. Ayoko po talagang matuloy. Bakit? Sa loob po ng matagal na panahon ni Bonifacio, ni Aguinaldo, panahon ni Quezon, panahon ni Marcos Sr., ni Aquino Sr., ni Aquino Jr., ni Arroyo, Marcos Jr., PRRD Duterte, HOR ngayon, at Vice President Duterte. Hindi na po tayo natapos sa usapin ng politika at yaan po ay pinagtibay ng Supreme Court sa kanyang desisyon na sinabi niya mismo, oo, politikal ang impeachment, pero hindi kailanman dapat masagasaan nito ang karapatan ng tao. Malinaw at yun po ang pinaglalaban natin at kailangan dumaan sa tamang proseso. At yan po ang pinaglalaban natin. Ngayon, mga mahal kong kaibigan, pagkatapos po natin marinig ang bawat punto ng bawat isa, sana po matapos na po ito at harapin na po natin ang mga tunay na problema ng bayan. Katulad po ng sweldo, katulad po ng agrikultura, pagkain, kaguluhan sa West Philippine Sea, sa buong mundo. Ang dami po nating dapat pag-usapan. Total, meron pa naman pong Pebrero. Ang sinabi naman po ng Supreme Court, at ang Supreme Court naman po, ang siya naman po dapat na sinasabi ng saligang batas. Malinaw po. Matagal po akong ginawang chairman ng constitutional ni dating Pangulo Mig Subiri. Pinagkatiwalaan niya po tayo, pinag-aralan po natin yan, at malinaw sa konstitusyon na ang magpapaliwanag ng saligang batas ay Supreme Court. Kaya sana po, ako'y malungkot talaga dahil napunta tayo sa archive. Yung archive, binasa ko pwede pala yan hukayin anytime, kung ano man. So, hindi pa rin tayo natapos. Kaya sana po, bagamat ang boto ko ay yes, aray. Gusto kong malaman at mailagay po sa lathalan ng Senado na ako'y may reserbasyon dyan. Malaking reserbasyon ko dahil gusto ko dismissal. Tapusin na natin to. Hindi pa tayo natapos Total, nasabi na lahat. Ilang oras ang banatan. Pero hindi pa rin natapos. Kaya po, mga mahal kong kababayan, bago po ako umupo, nais ko pong malaman ninyo na ang inyong Senado ay tumatakbo. Huwag po kayong malungkot sa mga hindi pabor sa amin o sa mga pabor naman. Isa lang po ang masasabi ko. Tigilan na natin ang politika at mahalin natin ang bawat isa, magkaisa na tayo, pag-usapan natin ang mga totoong problema. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, Madam Secretary.
Senator Pangilinan.
Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan is recognized to explain his vote.
This representation votes no. Unang-una, ang boto na no ay hindi nangangahulugan na hindi natin nirerespeto ang pasya o kapangyarihan ng Korte Suprema. Lalo-lalo na't hindi pa ito pinal. Wala sa hanay ng mga senador na bumoto ng no ang nagsasabi na hindi dapat respetuhin ang pasya ng Korte Suprema. Hintayin lang ang final decision. Kung tutuusin, kung hinintay lang natin ang final decision, hindi tayo nagpasya at wala tayong ginawa na mga hakbang out of respect dahil nga pending pa. Wala tayong nilabag sa pagiging immediately executory ng desisyon. Kaya kataka-taka kung bakit kailangan magkaroon ng archiving. Pero pasya ito ng mayorya. Mr. President, bumoto tayo ng no dahil naniniwala tayo mas mainam sana na hintayin nga ang resolusyon ng motion for reconsideration. Dagdag siyempre dyan ang pagkilala ng prinsipyo ng co-equality sa House of Representatives. Yung interchamber courtesy, yung pagbibigay galang sa isang co-equal, respeto sa isang co-equal. Kaya nais po sana nating i-lay muna yung matter on the table. To vote to archive the complaint despite the MR still pending, I believe, Mr. President, and I believe the others who voted no share this position, is premature, as the ruling may still be reversed or modified. In addition, at ito nga ang isang contention, to vote to archive the impeachment complaint, if at all, is to give the Senate the powers which are only reserved for the impeachment court, deciding, trying, and deciding impeachment cases. Precedents were cited in that the Senate and not the impeachment court acted on the impeachment cases of former President Estrada and Merceditas Gutierrez. But we submit, iba yung facts nung mga kaso na yon. In the Estrada case, supervening events led to the termination of the trial. In the case of Gutierrez, the Senate did not convene as an impeachment court. Kaya iba, apples to oranges, ika nga. We believe archiving the case is a matter exclusively within the powers and jurisdiction of the Senate Impeachment Court. Kaya lay on the table sana ang maayos na proseso under our rules. Allow me to reiterate that the final decision of the Supreme Court, yes, must be respected. The Supreme Court ruled that the impeachment court did not acquire jurisdiction, and its ruling rendered the official acts of convening as a court, of taking the oath, issuing of summons, and remanding the complaint as, for all intents and purposes, nullified. Kaya tinanong natin kanina, ano na ang nangyari sa constitutional duty and constitutional power as sole power to try and decide impeachment cases. We took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, and that includes our own determination whether or not the nullification of the acts of the impeachment court, an exclusive sole power to try and decide impeachment cases, if the ruling was based on the facts and not on a misappreciation of the facts. Kaya nga, sana hinintay ang motion for reconsideration. The impeachment court, being ousted of its jurisdiction by the Supreme Court, is unprecedented, based, and sadly, as we read the ruling, the decision, based on the wrong facts. It is disturbing. The distinguished minority leader pointed out, point for point, in his interpellation and manifestation, the errors in the facts that the Supreme Court based its findings of grave abuse. I reiterate, one cannot be right with the law if one is wrong with the facts. And that's why napakahalaga nung motion for reconsideration. There is still an opportunity for the errors to be corrected, kaya nandyan ang MR. And this is the reason why we voted no. Napaka-precedent setting nitong nawalan ng jurisdiksyon ang impeachment court, nawalan ng kapangyarihan o isinantabi ang kapangyarihan, sole power of the House of Representatives to initiate proceedings, at naway sa pamamagitan ng motion for reconsideration, mabalik yung ating kaninang nabanggit na ma-harmonize yung lahat ng mga constitutional provisions na hindi nag-aaway kung hindi lahat ay mabibigyan ng legal at binding effect. The power of judicial review, the sole power to initiate impeachment proceedings, and the sole power to try and decide cases of the Supreme Court, of the House of Representatives, and of the Senate. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan. Mr. Secretary.
Senator Soto.
The minority leader is recognized to explain his vote.
Mr. President, I have more than expressed myself on this issue. Just in addition, a lingering question. How can the Senate archive something that is not before it? The articles are before the impeachment court. Therefore, I cast a negative vote.
Thank you, Minority Leader. Senator Soto.
Senator Tulfo Erwin.
Senator Erwin Tulfo is recognized to explain his vote.
Ginoong Pangulo, mga kapwa kong senador at sa sambayanang Pilipino. Bumoto po ako ng yes sa mosyon na sumasang-ayon sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema sa impeachment case laban kay Vice President Duterte. Ito po ay hindi sa gusto kong iligtas ang Vice Presidente, kundi dahil malinaw ang sinasabi ng ating batas at mas malinaw pa ang desisyon ng Korte Suprema na ito po ay labag sa konstitusyon. Alinsunod po sa one-year bar rule, hindi maaring magsampa muli ng impeachment complaint ng 1 taon matapos ang naunang reklamo. Ayon po sa kataas-taasang hukuman, ito ay nalabag. At bilang mambabatas, hindi ako pwedeng pumikit na lang sa harap ng isang tahasang paglabag sa ating saligang batas. At para saan o ano pa ang saysay ng panunumpa natin noong nakaraang linggo sa tungkulin na nakasaad doon na that I will protect and defend the Constitution kung ito ay susuwin lang naman natin. Ngunit, linawin ko ito. Ang boto kong ito ay hindi para iabsuelto si VP Sara Duterte. Sa totoo lang po, gusto ko siyang humarap sa paglilitis upang maipaliwanag ang mga issue upang sumagot sa mga tanong ng taong bayan at upang harapin anumang pananagutan kung ito'y nararapat. dahil ang paninilbihan sa taong bayan ay hindi po pribilehyo, kundi isa ring pananagutan. Public service is not just a privilege, rather it carries also huge responsibilities. Sa loob po ng mahabang panahon, nasanay na ang ilang matataas na opisyal kapag may kapangyarihan, may lusot. Kapag mataas ang posisyon, immune sa tanong o investigasyon. Tama na, panahon nang baguhin ito. Kung tunay po na walang kasalanan si VP Duterte, dapat siya mismo ang manguna sa pagbubukas ng lahat ng dokumento, paggamit ng budget at mga hakbangin niya bilang pangalawang Pangulo at kalihim ng DepEd. Walang dahilan para umiwas kung malinis po ang konsensya. Ang boto kong yes ay hindi pagtatanggol sa kanya, kundi pagtatanggol sa legalidad ng proseso. Hindi po ito ang wakas. Kung may basehan at sa tamang panahon, hindi po ako magdadalawang isip na suportahang muli ang isang lehitimo at makatarungang impeachment. Dahil ang pamahalaan po ay para sa taong bayan, hindi po para sa iilang nasa puder. Maraming salamat at mabuhay po ang sambayanang Pilipino.
Maraming salamat, Senator Erwin Tulfo. Ginoong Sekretaryo.
Senator Tulfo, Rafi.
Senator Rafi Tulfo is hereby recognized to explain his vote.
Mr. President, my vote is yes. Let me explain my vote. My dear colleagues, in our Constitution, the sovereign Filipino people agreed to establish a government that will run our country. Malinaw dito kung ano ang kapangyarihan ng bawat sangay. Ang legislatura ang tagagawa ng mga batas. Ang ehekutibo ang tagapatupad ng batas. On the other hand, ang Korte Suprema naman ang taga-interpret o tagapaliwanag ng batas kapag may hindi malinaw dito o may pagtatalo kung paano ito ipapatupad. Kaya naman, ang respeto ng bawat sangay ng gobyerno sa isa't isa ay mahalaga upang tuloy-tuloy ang maayos na pagpapalakad ng ating gobyerno. Under the Constitution, it is the House of Representatives that shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. Wala po tayo papel sa proseso na yan. Our role only comes when a valid articles of impeachment complaint is filed before us. Mr. President, the case before the Supreme Court is about the impeachment initiation procedure before the House of Representatives. Whether a case of impeachment has been initiated according to the text and spirit of the Constitution. Of course, I will not delve into the correctness of the decision of the Supreme Court, but I believe it is within their authority to interpret the Constitution and declare whether the actions and processes before the House is constitutional. And so, we must accord the decision of the Supreme Court the same respect that they give the laws that we enact as the legislative. That is the scope and limitation of our powers. Having said that, allow me to go to the clear, dispositive portion of the decision. Sa dulo po ng 97-page decision, ito po ang sinabi ng ating Korte Suprema. Una, the articles of impeachment are unconstitutional and are deemed null and void ab initio. In other words, walang bisa nung simula pa lang. Second, the court said, the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute itself into an impeachment court. Ibig sabihin, hindi nagkaroon ng Senado ng kapangyarihang maglitis bilang impeachment court. Mr. President, I agree that we should abide by the decision of the court to avoid any constitutional crisis. And if I were to take the duty to my heart, I believe the decision is very clear. No impeachment court was validly convened. That's my vote. With that said, however, there are concerns raised regarding the decision. So it is important for the Supreme Court to address these concerns. I have faith in the Supreme Court that it will perform its mandate. That's all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Raffy Tulfo. Secretary?
Senator Villanueva.
The Majority Leader recognizes Senator Villanueva.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, this representation stands today not just a senator judge, but as a member of this institution who took an oath to uphold the Constitution. And I'm here, Mr. President, to explain my vote. But more importantly, to stay true to that oath, to serve with integrity and give life to the spirit of the law. Article 11, Section 1 of our Constitution provides that public office is a public trust. Ang isang katungkulan sa pamahalaan ay isang tiwalang ipinagkakaloob ng mamamayan. This underscores one of the core principles of democracy, that ultimate political power resides with the people. And thus, the preamble starts, Mr. President, we, the sovereign Filipino people, because the government's authority and legitimacy emanates from the people. Thomas Jefferson encapsulated the expectation from a person holding public office in one sentence. When a man assumes a public trust, he should consider himself as public property. Close quote. Kapalit ng tiwalang ipinagkakaloob ng bayan sa isang tao ay ang paglilingkod ng may katapatan sa saligang batas at sumasalamin sa mithiin ng bayan na nakapaloob dito. Ginoong Pangulo, pag-aari ka ng publiko dahil ang bawat galaw at desisyon mo ay hindi para sa sarili, kundi laging para sa bayan. While due process protects life, liberty, and property, public office is not private property. As Justice Malcolm wrote in Segovia versus Noel, a public position is not owned by its holder. Ang posisyon sa gobyerno ay hindi premyo o personal na karapatan. Ito po ay pananagutan at pagtitiwala ng taong bayan. During the July 26, 1986 discussion of the Constitutional Commission, it was noted that, and I quote, a violation of an oath of office is itself a violation of the Constitution because a public official's oath is in the Constitution, close quote. Thus, accountability is not only a moral imperative, it is a constitutional duty. Public officials are answerable to the people at all times, and the mechanisms of impeachment and oversight exist precisely because no one can claim a vested personal entitlement to office. Where accountability is demanded, due process must still be observed. Ngunit Ginoong Pangulo, hindi po ito dapat maging panangga laban sa makatarungan at lehitimong pagsusuri o gamitin upang gawing pagmamay-ari ang isang tungkulin pampubliko. Higit po sa lahat, hindi ito dapat maging kasangkapan upang takasan ang pananagutan. Wala po ni isa ang nakatataas sa pananagutan, nakakatakas sa pananagutan. Lalo na po ang mga nasa pinakamataas na posisyon ng ating bayan. Mabigat po ang papel natin dito sa Senado, Ginoong Pangulo, lalo na sa impeachment. Hindi po ito simpleng usaping legal. Desisyon po ito na nakabatay sa batas at nagmula rin sa ating prinsipyo at konsensya. The framers of our Constitution knew this. That's why impeachment decisions are ultimately acts of political and moral judgment, not just strict legal analysis. Kaya po malinaw ang disenyo ng ating saligang batas. Ang House ang may eksklusibong kapangyarihan para magpasimula ng impeachment. At ang Senado ang tanging may kapangyarihan na lumitis at magdesisyon. This is a sui generis role, unique, exemptional, and deeply rooted in our democratic system. That is also why both chambers of Congress were given the authority to craft their own rules of procedure in impeachment cases. May mga bumatikos po sa atin noon, Ginoong Pangulo, sa pag-remand natin ng articles of impeachment sa House. At sabi nila, ng mga bumabatikos, pag-iwas daw po ito sa tungkulin. Pero kung susuriin pong mabuti, Ginoong Pangulo, hindi po ito pag-atras sa ating tungkulin. It was a necessary and prudent step towards ensuring that the proper procedure was followed so that our decision as a court will not be marred by legal and constitutional infirmities. Now we are faced with the High Court's decision that tackles precisely that which we hope to avert when we remanded the articles of impeachment, Mr. President. So clearly today, the Supreme Court's decision in GR 278353 is a vindication of the Senate's action. We have been called so many names, Mr. President, and ridiculed in the digital court of public opinion. I'm sure the Senate President would likely agree with this representation that the allegations thrown at us regarding the impeachment and even the decision of the Supreme Court, a matter that we have no participation in, are extremely preposterous and absurd. But this exercise, while political in nature, is not about personalities. It's not about revenge. It's not about prevailing sentiments or personal biases. It is about upholding what is legal and constitutional and what will hold true in the years that follow. Let me make one thing clear to our kababayans, mahal nating mga kababayan. We in the Senate have never abandoned our mandate in this impeachment proceeding. Ang bawat hakbang po na ating tinahak ay nakaangkla sa kaluluwa ng ating bayan, ang ating inaalagaan at pinoprotektahan sa Ligang Batas ng Republika ng Pilipinas. But as they say, Mr. President, dissent is not a threat to democracy. It is essential to its survival. Kaya doon po sa mga pumuna, sa mga nagsabing mali ang naging pasya ng Senado, hindi tama ang ginawa po natin dito, naintindihan naman po natin sila kung saan sila nanggagaling. And in that same democratic spirit, I now take this opportunity to respectfully air my own dissent to certain portions of the Supreme Court's decision. While we respect the court's authority, I believe there are portions of the ruling that may have inadvertently made the already difficult process of impeachment even harder. Agree po ako doon, Ginoong Pangulo. Impeachment was never meant to be easy, but neither was it designed to be impossible. The framers of our Constitution deliberately relaxed the rules to empower the people and lower the barriers to initiating accountability against high-ranking officials. The Constitution even allows any ordinary citizen to file a verified complaint. Ang mababa at mataas na kapulungan ng Kongreso ang nagsisilbing takbuhan ng mamamayan. Sa mga pagkakataong wasak na ang tiwalang ipinagkaloob ng publiko sa mga inuluklok nito. And yet, Mr. President, with this decision, we now see new procedural hurdles that were not explicitly required by the Constitution, including the rigid interpretations of due process at the preliminary stage. These add layers of complication to a process that is already politically and institutionally fragile. Kung hindi po natin iingatan, tama po yun. Baka po buhay sa papel, ngunit patay sa proseso. This was no accident of drafting, Mr. President. The framers of the 87 Constitution intentionally relaxed the requirements for initiating impeachment, lowering the vote needed from 2/3 as required in the past constitutions to just 1/3 of all House members. As explained by the framers of our Constitution, this was meant to I quote, make it easier, not harder, to hold high public officials accountable, close quote. They had lived through a time when power went unchecked and accountability was elusive. Kaya siniguro po nila na ang kapangyarihan ay laging may akaakibat na pananagutan. Mr. President, this representation did not come to this decision lightly. We understand and value the necessity of public accountability. Naiintindihan po natin yan. Napakahalaga po niyan. Walang sino man po ang dapat mailagay sa pedestal na hindi kayang abutin ng batas. Pero ang pananagutan po ay kailangan dumaan sa tamang proseso. Isang proseso na hindi lamang makatarungan, kundi naaayon at tumatalima sa saligang batas ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Sa mga ganito pong sitwasyon, hindi po naaalis sa aking isipan. Kung may mga pagkakataon meron po bang pagkakataon na maaaring labagin ng Senado ang mga ipinag-utos ng Korte Suprema? Maaaring halimbawa po nito ay kung may klarong panghihimasok sa internal rules o procedure ng Senado, ang Korte Suprema. Ngunit, Ginoong Pangulo, sa pagbibigay kahulugan sa nakasaad sa ating saligang batas, tanging Korte Suprema lamang ang may kapangyarihan bilang pinal na tagapagpasya. Article 8, Section 1 of the 87 Constitution expands the Supreme Court's scope of judicial power by mandating it to determine whether or not there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction on the part of any branch or instrumentality of the government. In the case of Angara versus Electoral Commission, Justice Jose P. Laurel, who later became the third president of the Republic, wrote, and I quote, "When the judiciary mediates to allocate constitutional boundaries, it does not assert any superiority over the other departments. It does not in reality nullify or invalidate an act of the legislature, but only asserts the solemn and sacred obligation assigned to it by the Constitution." Close quote. Noong pong tinatalakay ng ating mga constitutional framers ang probisyon sa konstitusyon, patungkol po sa proseso ng impeachment, binanggit po ng kagalang-galang na Commissioner Dodong Maambong ang isang sipi mula sa isang kaso sa Amerika. Ang sabi po niya, and I quote, "Ang impeachment ay ang unang hakbang sa isang proseso ng pagwawasto. Ang layunin po nito ay hindi personal na pagpaparusa sa nasasakdal, bagkos ang pangunahing layunin nito ay panatilihin ang pamahalaang naaayon sa konstitusyon." This quote captures the heart of what impeachment is meant to be, Mr. President. It is not about personalities or punishment. It is about protecting the very structure of our constitutional democracy. And sometimes protecting that structure means accepting limits, even when we disagree with how those limits are drawn. In this case, the Supreme Court, as the final interpreter of our laws, has spoken unanimously, and I will say it again, spoken unanimously, decisively, and with finality. It ruled that the impeachment complaint violated the one-year bar rule. The Vice President was denied due process, and that this Senate, as of the moment, had not acquired jurisdiction. Mr. President, in closing, again, I would say we may not agree with every word of that ruling. But the rule of law is not a matter of convenience. It is the foundation of our democracy. Upholding it, even when it is difficult or unpopular, is what gives this institution its credibility and our democracy its strength. To ignore it, no matter how justified we may feel, is to risk eroding the very foundation we are sworn to defend, our beloved Constitution. Kaya po, Ginoong Pangulo, sa liwanag ng ating saligang batas at bilang paggalang sa pasya ng Korte Suprema, habang kinikilala po natin na may nakabinbing motion for reconsideration na sinampa ng House of Representatives, and in adhering to the immediately executory decision rendered by the Supreme Court, I vote to transfer the articles of impeachment to the archives. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Villar Camil.
Senator Camille Villar is recognized. You may proceed, ma'am.
Mr. President, my dear colleagues, I vote yes to the motion to archive the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte, respecting the decision of the Supreme Court. It is undeniable that the Supreme Court has the power under the Constitution to declare an act of a co-equal body as unconstitutional, a power known as judicial review. The power allows the Supreme Court to ensure that all branches of the government act within the bounds of the Constitution, and it should be respected. The three main branches of our government, the legislative, executive, and judicial, each is vested with distinct powers and functions by the Constitution, none superior to others. Each operates independently with its own sphere of authority and serves as a check and balance on the others to prevent abuse of power. This is the foundation of our democracy, and it ensures the rule of law, accountability, and protection of rights of all Filipinos. In this case, the Supreme Court has spoken. By a unanimous vote, the Supreme Court declared in clear and unequivocal terms the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte unconstitutional and null and void ab initio for violating the one-year bar rule and due process clause. As a result, the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute itself into an impeachment court. This decision, finally, is immediately executory. Mr. President, we have heard many good arguments in the recent weeks from both sides. Just today, being the youngest member of this robust body, I have learned so much from our esteemed and distinguished colleagues. But to me, it is simple. The opinion, or the most important opinion, is that of the final arbiter of our Constitution, and that is the Supreme Court. I have faith that the Supreme Court has done their duty and fulfilled their mandate. Being a legislator and a public servant, it is my duty to abide by that decision. Not too long ago, I took my oath of office as a senator, and I swore to support and defend the Constitution, and I adhere to that today. To do otherwise can lead to uncertainty and chaos, and even a constitutional crisis. This is what the rule of law expects from each and every one of us. And to respect the rule of law is to respect our democracy. And that is why I vote yes to the motion before us. Mr. President, dalangin ko sana na marisolba na natin ngayon ito upang mapagtuunan na natin ng pansin ang mga tunay at malalaking problema na hinaharap ng ating bansa at ng ating mga kababayan, katulad ng mataas na presyo ng bilihin, pagkaroon ng wastong hanap buhay, kalusugan at kaligtasan ng bawat Pilipino. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Senator Villar.
Senator Villar, Mark.
Senator Mark Villar is recognized. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to vote yes and explain my vote on the matter before us, and to explain why we compromised today on archiving this very important topic. But of course, we must always remember that the status quo is that the Senate has no jurisdiction. So in legal speak, this complaint is null and void. Last July 25, the Supreme Court rendered a unanimous decision declaring the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte unconstitutional, noting that it is barred by the one-year rule under the Constitution and that it violates due process. The merits of this decision are not an issue at issue before us. The sole question we need to answer is whether the Senate should respect the decision of the Supreme Court. And I say clearly and emphatically, yes. The Supreme Court has the ultimate authority to interpret what the Constitution is. No one, including the Senate, can substitute its opinion over the courts in any matter concerning the Constitution. And the Constitution itself, in Article 8, Section 1, entrenches the court's role in interpreting the Constitution and determining whether there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction by any branch or instrumentality of the government. This includes the Senate, even when acting as an impeachment tribunal. Justice Laurel laid down the doctrine in the Supreme Court as the final arbiter of constitutional issues in Angara versus Electoral Tribunal, where it was stated that when the judiciary mediates to allocate constitutional boundaries, it does not assert any superiority over the other departments. It does not in reality nullify or invalidate an act of the legislature, but only asserts the solemn and sacred obligation assigned to it by the Constitution to determine conflicting claims of authority under the Constitution. At dahil nagdesisyon na po ang Korte Suprema, tungkulin po ng Senado na sundin ang desisyon na ito. Sumasangayon man tayo o hindi, dahil nangako tayo, bawat isa sa ating mga senador, that we will support and defend the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, that we commit to obeying all laws and legal orders issued by the duly constituted authorities. Nasa oath of office po natin ito. In staying true to our oath of office, we must abide by the order of the duly constituted authority in matters of the Constitution, the Supreme Court. We must uphold the Constitution. Thus, the Senate cannot acquire jurisdiction to proceed with the trial, much less issue a verdict. Tulad ng sabi ni Senior Associate Justice Leonen, the impeachment process is a constitutional process. And although it is also a political process, it is not isolated from the requirements of the Constitution as a whole. Kailangan obserbahan ang due process, ang tama at makatarungang proseso bago matanggal sa posisyon ang isang individual. Habang iginagalang natin ang opinyon at pananaw ng bawat isa sa mga importanteng usapin, kailangan natin igalang, kilalanin at bigyang halaga ang kakayahan at kaalaman ng mga maestrado ng kataas-taasang hukuman na binigyan ng kapangyarihan ng ating konstitusyon bilang huling hukom na ipaliwanag kung ano ang batas at kahulugan nito at magdesisyon ng pinal sa isyung ukol sa konstitusyon. By recognizing the authority of the Supreme Court on the matter, the Senate does not abandon its mandate and its wisdom as an independent political body, nor does it concede or submit to a co-equal branch of the government. We are simply upholding the rule of law. At kung susuway tayo sa desisyon ng Supreme Court sa isang isyung konstitusyonal, binabaliwala natin ang konstitusyon. Ito ay magdudulot ng isang krisis sa ating saligang batas at lipunan na hindi makakabuti para sa taong bayan. As a functional society governed by the rule of law, we must accord our democratic institutions with respect, value their guidance, recognize their competence, and cherish their independence. Mr. President, pinapatunayan ng desisyon na ito na makakaasa ang tao na ang due process ay hindi lang guni-guni o kasabihan walang katuturan. Na ang due process ay para sa lahat at hindi lang para sa mga kakampi. Isang patunay na mapabisi presidente man o ordinaryong Pilipino, makakasigurado tayo na ang mga institusyon, ang Korte Suprema at ang Senado ay handang ipagtanggol, pahalagahan at bantayan ang ating mga karapatan. Without the rule of law, people may act without accountability, government leaders may act on personal interest, individual rights can no longer be guaranteed. Without the rule of law, there can be no justice, no order, and no real democracy. To end, I would like to quote Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Leonen, who penned the decision. There is a right way to do the right thing at the right time. This is what the rule of just law means. This is what fairness or due process of law means, even for impeachment. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Villar. Before recognizing Senator Zubiri, I'd like to thank him for his patience because he's always last whenever we do nominal voting. At some point in time, you might want to make a motion, Senator Zubiri, for us to draw lots on which letter of the alphabet we will start voting.
Thank you.
The gentleman may proceed.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President. Alam mo po yun, Ginoong Pangulo, dahil magkasama po tayo sa Kongreso ng 3 termino. At dun sa 3 termino, na alam ko yung bilang po natin ay 265, 268 congressmen, napakahirap po pag ang iyong pangalan ay nagsisimula sa letrang Z. Kasi ako po ay palaging huli. Minsan po, wala na pong tao nakikinig sa akin, yung janitor na po, mga page ang nag-aayos ng mga upuan. Pero, subalit na yung araw na ito, nagpapasalamat ako at napakarami pang senador na nandito po na yun. Nandito si Senator Bato, Senator Bong, Senator Robin Padilla, Senator Amy, Senator Erwin, Senator Mark Villar, our Senate President Pro Temp, who's not listening, but he's here with us today, together with the movant, Senator Marcoleta, and all the rest, no? Nandito ang 2 Cayetano na kaibigan natin. Yung mga seatmates nandito and minority. Pero Mr. President, honestly, it pains me to vote against my minority floor leader. It pained me and Senator Lauren. But what we are called to do here today goes beyond a simple vote. We all know that, Mr. President. It goes beyond a simple vote. Rather, for me, it's a test of our commitment to our Constitution and the rule of law. When the House of Representatives transmitted the articles of impeachment to us in February 5, 2025, my position was clear. We must go ahead with the trial, as this is our constitutional duty. In many interviews, that's what I said. It doesn't matter how I feel about it, because many people already said that I was on the other side. But I've said it doesn't matter what my personal feelings are. What matters is that we proceed with our constitutional duty. When the motion to remand the articles of impeachment came up on June 10, 2025, it was also my position, again, clear, that we must remand the articles not for the sake of dismissing the trial, Mr. President, but for the purpose of ensuring that the House of Representatives had not violated the impeachment process as laid out in the Constitution. I have always upheld the principles of rule of law and the primacy of the Constitution. And I've consistently shown the highest respects for the Supreme Court as the final arbiter of all constitutional questions. So today, again, my position is clear. We must respectfully adhere to the Court's ruling that the current impeachment complaint is unconstitutional. Our Constitution expressly empowers the Supreme Court to review even the article or the actions of political branches. In Francisco versus House of Representatives, that case which has been mentioned by almost all my colleagues here, the court affirmed that it is the final arbiter for constitutional questions with authority to strike down acts that violate the Constitution. Thus, I vote to support the Supreme Court on not to proceed with the trial of the articles of impeachment as it violates both the Constitution and the guarantees of due process, rendering the current complaint unconstitutional and void ab initio. The grave denial of due process only magnifies its fatal defect. Without jurisdiction, any trial would be meaningless and any verdict null and void, Mr. President. To disregard the court's unanimous ruling would be to invite a constitutional crisis and to break our oath to support and defend our Constitution. The power of impeachment is not without limits, Mr. President, my dear colleagues. It must be exercised within the boundaries set by the Constitution as interpreted by the Supreme Court. And let me be clear for those listening tonight. The court did not place the Vice President beyond scrutiny. It simply required that any future impeachment follow constitutional safeguards. As simple as that. A new complaint may be filed by February 6, 2026, lawfully and with due process, at doon na po natin magagamit, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, yung ating mga gown at Rome. Kasi sigurado, as the day will shine tomorrow, there will be an impeachment case filed against her. And we will be ready. This time, we will be prepared and follow the due process that was mentioned by the Supreme Court. I speak, Mr. President, as someone who's been a legislator for over 2 decades now, together with the Senate President, long enough to know that our fragile democracy rests on the strength of our laws, that our freedoms are given shape by our rules and traditions. And you all know me as a stickler for rules and traditions, together with my minority leader. I have served in both houses, House of Representatives and the Senate, and here in the Senate, being formerly a majority leader, the Senate President, and now your Deputy Minority Leader. In all these roles, Mr. President, I've been conscientious in adhering to the rules and traditions that protect the integrity of our beloved institution. It is in this spirit that I adhere to the Court's decision. My vote today is based on the Supreme Court's decision last July 25, 2025, without prejudice to whatever resolution it may later render on the motion for consideration. That's why I thank the good movement, Mr. President, to allow me to amend or to allow the amendment of his motion to make it a mere archiving of the document, because that will never stop us from being able to pull out that document from the archives. Maraming salamat sa ating mahal na movement, si Senator Marcoleta. Let me just say this, Mr. President, to end my manifestation and my vote. Restraint is not weakness. It is obedience to constitutional order. Let us act not in defiance of, but in deference to the Constitution, to the Supreme Court, and to the people who have entrusted us these powers in this very chamber. Daghan kay salamat sa ako mga kaigsunan, and may God bless us all. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Zubiri. With 19 affirmative votes, 4 negative votes, 1 abstention, the motion of Senator Marcoleta, as amended by Senator Joel Villanueva, adhering to the immediately executory decision rendered by the Supreme Court en banc on July 25, 2025, which among others held that the articles of impeachment are null and void ab initio, and that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction, and to move to transfer the articles of impeachment in relation to case number 002-2011, entitled "In the Matter of the Impeachment Trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte," to the archives. The same is hereby approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, Senator Bam Aquino would like to insert his explanation of vote into the record.
So inserted as requested by Senator Bam Aquino into the records,
with Senator J.V. Ejercito,
as well as that of Senator J.V. Ejercito. What is the pleasure of the Honorable Pangilinan?
Yes, just a parliamentary inquiry, Mr. President. If I recall, in previous votes, we first get the results of the vote before we go through an explanation of the vote. It seems like we have changed the process of voting.
That was upon the motion of Senator Zubiri earlier, which the chair explained before we put the matter to a vote.
I raised this question because, well, the reason why, at least the practice was, the votes first before the explanation is that at times when there are contentious voting, the quorum may suddenly disappear, or there will no longer be a quorum because of the long process of voting. So
the gentleman is correct unless a member asks that the procedure we just adopted is instead followed, and in this particular instance, the Honorable Zubiri moved without objection from any member, hence the procedure that we adopted.
Mr. President,
Senator Zubiri.
Therefore, that motion that I made was only for today. Okay. We can go back to traditional practice.
That is the understanding.
Thank you very much,
correct, Senator Zubiri.
Thank you for the clarification, Mr. President, Mr. Majority Leader.
Majority Floor Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, some administrative matters, Mr. President. May I move, Mr. President, that we dispense with the reading of the journal of the 5th session, Tuesday, August 5, 2025, and consider the same as approved. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion of the majority leader is approved.
Mr. President, with the consent of the body and noting that for some measures this shall lead to a third committee referral, and upon consultation with the minority and conformity of the chairperson of the Committee on Games and Amusement, I move for the secondary committee referral and or change of secondary committee referral as the case may be on the following measures concerning anti-online gambling to the Committee on Banks, Financial Institutions, and Currencies, while the prior secondary referrals will now be third committee referral. This is in view of the measures' implications on the financial and banking system, particularly with respect to fund transfers and other financial transactions associated with online gambling platforms. These are Senate Bill number 30, 47, 57, 142, proposed Senate Resolution number 12, proposed Senate Resolution number 19, and the privilege speech of Senator Zubiri delivered last July 30, 2025. I so move, Mr. President.
The understanding is the lead committee will still be the Committee on Games. The majority leader simply changed the secondary
Yes,
committees.
Mr. President, that is correct.
May we know if there is a third committee being referred to?
Majority leader.
Sorry, what's the question?
If the third committee is Ways and Means, we have no problem with that. But if the third committee, as I read it, is the banks, that does not fall in the Rule 10, Section 15.
As the second, Mr. President.
Second, not the third.
Not the third.
So there are only two committees. Referral.
3, Mr. President.
3. What is the third?
The third is the Ways and Means.
Yeah, no problem with that. What about the others? I have a list here of your PS 19 and the privilege speech of Senator Zubiri referred to 3, 4?
Including the privilege speech, Mr. President, of Senator Mig Zubiri.
You are referring it to 4 committees?
3.
3 committees
only, Mr.
and not
President.
Ways and Means and
Banks and
not Ways and
Games
Means
and
or
Amusement,
Finance.
Mr. President.
Yeah,
Games and Amusement
if
being
it's
the
not
lead
Ways
committee,
and
Mr.
Means or
President.
Finance and you go beyond 2, you refer it to the Committee on Rules. That's the procedure.
That's why, Mr.
Yes,
President,
not the
we
banks,
are...
not the committees.
Yes, Mr. President, that's the reason why we are asking the consent of the minority, Mr. President. If it is not okay with the minority, Mr. President, I will...
Your Honor, the reason why it's the majority leader that's making the motion with the consent of the body is precisely because the request for additional committees was referred to the Committee on Rules, and it's the Committee on Rules now acting on that request with the permission of the body first.
It is now the Committee on Rules asking for the permission
Yes,
because it was
that is
originally referred to you already.
Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor.
All right.
President.
And, we were not informed.
Thank you. Thank you for your understanding, Your Honor.
I told you.
Any objection
I told you.
to the motion of the majority leader? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr. President,
Before recognizing the majority floor leader, Chair would like to correct the case number it mentioned earlier. The record should reflect that the motion pertained to case number 003-2025. The correction is so ordered to be reflected into the records. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Monday, August 11, 2025.
Before acting on the motion of the Majority Leader, Chair would like to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Chamber, both majority and minority, for your presence, patience, forbearance, and magnanimity that we were able, in such a way that we were able to dispose and vote on this difficult matter of national interest in the most pleasant manner, form, shape, and size. Thank you very much.